Okay, so today I want to talk a little bit about footwork in Mae and Ushiro in sete. So when we sit down for sete, we sit down so that we have about a fist width in between, fist width and a half maybe, in between if you're a bigger person. And then at the back, what that is, or what happens at the back, is your two toes are touching, but not overlapping. So there's your two toes. All right, so for Mae, the opening, we grasp, we draw, and the foot plants, the front foot plants as we finish, or as we hit the target here. So just as I'm about to hit the target, right foot plants hit the target and then come across. The left foot is not allowed to move. So if I come through here and that happens, that's no good. So the left foot must be planted before we finish the draw. So as we're coming up, flip the toes under and make the left foot come out so that it's behind the heel or behind the knee properly. Come out. So the whole thing, the sequence, okay? So that's for Mae. For Ushiro, we want to move the foot in such a way that at the end of the draw, the foot moves across, the left foot. So from here, what we want to do, move up, turn. The left foot moves across as we cut. It's equivalent to the right foot moving forward. Now one thing we want to do is avoid moving across too far. So if we move a little bit forward, that's good. If we make a big deal about moving forward, what we'll do is we'll ruin our stance here. So if we come too far forward here, this will not be square. So depending on the length of your shin, you move forward a little bit or a lot, depending on what's going on. From here then, if we square out here, and then turn, what will happen is when we get to about this point here, and start to square in with the hips, the left foot collapses. So if we start from square out, and we begin to draw, we turn, 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 we have to turn and establish that right foot before we move the left foot, and it's collapsing over. So for Ushiro, the thing to do is to not swing the foot out, but simply to bring it up under the shins. So you bring the 2 feet up under the shin. And when you do that, and you turn, your left foot is just to the outside of your right knee, and then you have a nice distance to move across. Just like for Mae, for Ushiro, your back foot cannot move at the same time. So when you finish your turn, the back foot must square up here and then cut across. If you do this, that's incorrect. You can't move that back foot. Now the important point is this foot moving across. So, my last point about this is that there has been some discussion in 2010 with the Hanshi on the method of turning in Ushiro. When we do Koryu, in Musojikin and Eishinryu, we move in such a way that the feet roll upward. So from here, in Koryu, the right knee moves into the left, the right knee moves to the front and we roll that foot up. That's not a big deal. We finish Mae and Ushiro, square. It's not hard to do. Knee moves in, knee moves forward, rolls up. Just rolls up naturally. The reason it does roll up is that we have moved the right knee forward here, so that we've taken all the weight off the back foot. The right knee's there, very easy to roll that back foot. When we do sete, we don't move that knee in that way. When we do sete Ushiro, the right knee stays. When the right knee stays, as we rock up, and the right knee stays, if we're not very careful to get our weight on that knee, we can't roll very well with this foot. So that's one problem. If our weight is more or less together, as we're trying to come up, what we're going to do is we're going to have a heck of a time with that foot. It's a problem. And for beginners, it's not a good idea. Now, the problem with talking about rolling up is that it has been presented as rolling your feet up is a more advanced way of doing it. Now, the second you say that, every beginner wants to do it because it's the advanced way. There's two ways to do it. There's not an advanced and a junior way. There's two ways. One is to flip your toes under, one is to roll the foot. I'm here to argue with you, if you're a beginner, tuck your feet under. Don't roll your foot. It's much more difficult to do. And if you think about it, when I kick my toes under, from the center line, they come to here. My left foot then moves across a long way. That's what the judges see. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for whether you roll your foot or not. It's permissible both ways, so they don't look. They look for moving the foot. So, tuck under, starts from there. There's the middle. Don't tuck under, roll it over, and your foot is a foot width over already. Now, my foot and my back foot are basically lined up on the same line. I have no way of holding my balance here. My intention, or my inclination, is to move this a little bit. Or to leave it something like this, so I have some way of balancing. I have moved my left foot very close to where my right knee is. They're all on the same line. And that's about as far as I need to go over to begin with, to finish the move. So when I roll up, my natural inclination is going to be to do the foot sweep or something, do it in a strange and weird way. Now, as a beginner, you have other things to worry about than rolling your foot up. As a judge, I'm not going to be looking at the foot rolling up. I'm going to be looking at whether or not you're on balance, you've done things properly, and that left foot moves. So, yes, rolling up might look okay, but when you flip the toes under, it's going to be a lot more crisp, bigger, and look much nicer. So, there's some thoughts on foot position and moving in Mae and Ushiro. Okay, thanks.